I want to get back into Kyler Murray here and the accountability, which I know if you are a Cardinals fan who wants them to move on, you're looking at this and you're saying, a big deal. He's taking accountability. Well,
now everybody goes to a bowl, and the reason being, Luke, is because everybody participates and gets a trophy.
This is everybody doesn't go to a bowl.
Yeah,
ASU
but
didn't go to a bowl.
Come on. If you win 6 games, you're going to a bowl, baby.
Remember a couple years ago they needed more than they didn't have enough teams that had won 6 games. They had to start taking other teams.
Oh my goodness! Don't get me started on that.
Oh, look, I don't disagree with you, but that's why this is going to be such a great game tomorrow that I'm going to forget to play.
Okay, so what were you doing now? What do you want to talk about, Luke?
The accountability thing with Kyler Murray. I understand if you're listening and you're saying, yeah, that's great that he can be accountable after a loss. How about stop losing? There's truth to that argument. I understand that. But when they were winning a couple years ago, the pushback on Kyler was, well, he's not a good teammate. He doesn't take accountability when they lose. This is different, and this is better. I guess maybe I give him a little more leeway, and maybe I'm wrong, but I give him a little more leeway that he can put up the numbers. He's not putting up numbers yet. I give him some leeway that he will be able to put up the numbers once everything's going with the offense. He's got some pieces around him. There's some consistency. He hasn't played in just 5 games. And, playing against San Francisco's defense yesterday, they've played 13, 14 games. They're humming along, and he's still kind of trying to find his footing. The reason I give him a little bit of leeway is because I have seen him put up numbers in this league before. This isn't a rookie. This isn't some guy that's been bouncing around for 3 or 4 years, and we're just hearing about potential, but he's never actually done it. He has done it. There's things I need to see him do. I'd like to see him show up in a playoff game, but that's not all on him. And the stuff that he can show right now, I feel like he's showing.
Yeah, and, once again, you have to remember, Luke, that this is a brand new offense, a different scheme. And I know there's a lot of people out there who don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear it, and that's fine. Continue to walk around and go, la, 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 la. There are people, I'm listening to some analysts as well that are saying, hey, how long is it going to take them to actually get this down? Look, it's one thing to go out and practice in a completely different set of variables to go out and do it in a game. It's not even close, Luke. It's not even close. And that's why I don't understand some of these talking heads that I see, some guys that I've got a modicum of respect for as well that are saying this. I don't understand. What are you doing? He's got a brand new scheme, and I understand he was there in the OTAs. He wasn't taking any snaps. He wasn't practicing. I get that, but he was sitting there in the meeting rooms. He was absorbing the off. Hey, listen, it's one thing to intellectually understand it, and it's another thing to go out and orchestrate it. And then execute it as well. Completely different.
Look, I hate this as much as anybody. We're talking up a team after a loss, and we're talking about Kyler Murray. Yeah, this guy's going to be your franchise quarterback when he's 2-3, and last year he was bad. He was bad last year, and he's been hurt for a year. But I'm also dealing in the reality of, again, take a step back, look around the rest of the league. Just go ahead and, if you're just bored at work right now, let's knock productivity down a little bit. Go ahead and look at all the guys who started at quarterback around the league this weekend, okay? And tell me Kyler Murray's not one of the 12 best, let's say. And I know he hasn't been great yet, but look at the other quarterbacks around the league. And you have seen him be really, really good in this league in the past. I've had a lot of people bring up the DA comparisons.
Yeah.
I don't question Kyler's effort, man, and I've seen Kyler do it. It's 2 different things. Yes, they're both first overall picks, and to a certain extent, both have been at times disappointing.
Yes.
But they're not the same, and they're not on the same path right now either. I'm not telling you Kyler Murray is definitely going to win this team a Super Bowl and he's going to be a top 5 quarterback. I don't know that, but I would take him over a good chunk of quarterbacks in this league, and I think maybe he's finally on the right direction. Last year, he wasn't going the right direction.
Yeah, for me, once again, if you take the 5 games that he's played in, I'm going to rank the Rams game at number 5 right there with a 30.
Number 5.
It's right here in front of me, so I figured I'd play it.
I'm going to give him a 35% on that.
Oh,
one
30.
Right
Well, you have
bad.
actual numbers. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Luke? What are you going to do?
The Rams game's the worst.
Okay.
Yes, by far.
Number 4 coming up, it's the Texans. right? Number 4. Do you want to hit number 4?
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted it because the first time you jumped. Okay.
Number 4.
See, now I expected this, so I'm not going
nearly
to
as
jump,
fun anymore.
You know what I mean? Number 4, of course, I'm going to give him a 50%. A 50%. That was meh right there. Meh. You know what? It wasn't as bad as what most people think, but to me it was meh.
You think? I think I might actually go San Francisco was his 4th.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go San Francisco because he threw 2 interceptions and one of them was a touchdown for the other team.
Okay, Luke is going to go with that, and that's fine base earnings because he hasn't played. Because if he had played, he'd realize the 49ers have the best defense in the National Football League.
True, but why wouldn't you give Kyler a little grace in the Houston game? It was his second game back in a year.
Right, but that defense isn't anywhere close to the 49ers defense, in my opinion.
Aaron's telling us to break him early at number 4.
55%. That's what I gave him right there, okay?
Against the Niners?
Yeah,
so
against the
slightly
Niners.
Better than you gave Houston. You played 10 years. That's worth 5 arbitrary
once
points.
Once again, don't worry about what I'm saying
I'm
just because
worried.
I'm ripping you.
I'm worried.
The Falcons at number 2,
Yes.
I gave them an 80% right there.
Okay.
And then the Steelers, number 1 at 85%.
You just created your own scale.
See that?
It was basically identical to what I
needed
had.
numbers to see it.
You can't rip somebody if they have the same answers. All right, when you're just ripping yourself.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.